Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently doing pretty well, actually. Like, surprisingly so. We are currently running a surplus while constructing, and that's fantastic. Now, we're not expanding our construction at this time, because the plan is to increase our construction production methods, which is going to be expensive. So for right now, this is looking good, but we've got a lot of gold reserves. If we end up looking like we're going to cap our gold reserves, well, the first thing that we should do is we should start dropping taxes at that point. That's step one. Step two is going to be to expand our construction. But for now, I think we're reasonably happy with where we are. So we're positive in our bureaucracy now. We do need to continue to bring up our bureaucracy. That's for sure. And we're going to be starting to get into these very, very expensive constructions soon. The main question is, do we actually want to do them yet? Or do we want to focus on other things like universities? I mean, we're a lot of universities away from hitting our innovation cap at the current setup. That said, we're going to have dialectics in 22 months. So our current production is... If we go into here, we can see that our current total production is, I believe, we need to go into our production methods here. We can see that our current total production on our university is 4 innovation. So if we go to the philosophy department, we're going to be at 6 innovation. So it's a 50% increase. Noted. So we have 50 base. Yeah, 50 base innovations. So, how much are we going to need? Well, we're going to gain 4 when we swap this over. This says 2 here, but it's actually going to be 4. So how much do we need in total? Well, we've got 50 base, and we need to have 101.1 right now. I'm going to call that 102. So 102 minus 50, of course, means that we need 52 universities right now. But if we go to our universities and we go to philosophy department, this will increase it by 50%, approximately, right? So I guess this is instead of this being 1 innovation, it's going to be 1.5 innovation, and then this would be 2 innovation? Maybe. So with that in mind, what is 52 divided by 1.5? That is 35, rounding up, 34 and 2/3, actually. So we need 35 universities in total. I want to build a university in every location. I'm going to put these in the queue, and we're going to move them up in the queue as they become valid places to build, right? As they become not quite as expensive to build in. Let's put it that way. So how many total universities is this? I don't know. It's going to be quite a lot. It's probably going to be enough. We know that we need 34, right? So that's definitely noted. If we go in... Okay, I think we're just going to have to count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to Cyprus. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 to Lombardy, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, that's definitely enough. So that's all we need to know. We don't need to know the exact number. We just know it's enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through these universities, and we're going to move up the universities that are not red at this time. There's actually quite a lot of them. I am surprised by how many of these universities aren't red. That was a railway, I know, but I still want to move that up, so that seems relatively fine. Let's get this railway here. Let's get the... Oh, this is on page 2. Okay. So let's do something kind of like this for right now. So this is going to be a lot of universities here, that's understood, and it'll take time to get to all of this stuff. We can see this is currently 9 years in the queue, and it's not quite actually 9 years, but it'll be somewhat close. So these coal mines are going to get finished up. That is not necessarily the biggest priority in the world. I'm actually going to move this university up to here, and then we'll do the railway and then the coal mines again. And then we'll evaluate to see if we want to move any of these up. Almost certainly we want to bring this railway up, but I don't want it here. I want it... I so wish we could drag and drop these. I more want it about here. Okay, so we'll just do something along the lines of that. Now, we're net negative. We're running a deficit at this moment. That's fine. We've got lots and lots of money in the reserve, and this is because we're constructing 3, and there's only 1 private construction. So that's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about it. We'll get that railway in Corsica finished up, and we'll just continue working on these areas that are relatively efficient. Yes, we do need to build all of these railways that are still here. There's this coal mine in Sardinia. I'm going to cancel that. And then everything else here, this university can actually be brought up now. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this order's fine. We'll do this. So we're going to be working on this university in Israeli Chad. That'll be absolutely glorious for us. We're going to be very delighted to have these universities finishing. They do take a while to build. So that's noted. We're running 14.7 million GDP right now. We definitely want to bring that GDP up a bit, but for the moment, I think it's all looking good. Our private construction is kind of handling our market for us at this point. And we're primarily focused on building infrastructure now. Our market is expanding through private construction, whereas we are looking at building things like universities, government administrations, railways. Fundamental things that the market will need to rely on, but that don't themselves necessarily boost the market, right? So we've got this coal mine here, we've got this coal mine here. These are the last 2 coal mines I'm planning to build, at least for a while. We'll see when that ends up changing. It will, at some point, but we'll see when. I really want to get these universities online, though, and get the innovations generated, because that will be very, very useful for us. The universities aren't really that great for boosting our literacy, unfortunately, but we do need to get our literacy boosted. We really need to get some techs rolling here. That's what needs to happen at this point. I feel like we're really falling behind in technology. So we need to get these universities online. That's the mission. So now working on our railway in Calabria. That looks great. There's a university in Israeli Chad finishing. Language in the classroom. Assimilation rate is probably not bad. Do we care about South Italian pops becoming more radical? No. We're going to take the assimilation rate. Thank you very much. That'll be absolutely fine. 20% assimilation is pretty solid. So this is a pretty hefty deficit that we're currently running, and this is because our private construction is pretty consistently only building 1 at a time right now, and that's understood. What do we want here? I don't want to lose legitimacy, so we'll say no to that one. University in Baghdad about to finish up. Perfect. So that's, of course, going to be boosting our innovations. Our innovation cap is currently only 100.7, and that's understood, but we want to get up to that cap very, very quickly if we can. So we need to be investing in a lot of that sort of thing. So our railway in Calabria is finishing up. Our railway in Campania, this I'm going to move down because this is turmoil. This is because we took the radicalism in South Italy, right? So we're going to move that down. Calabria is honestly the same situation, so I'm going to temporarily delay that. This is in Sardinia, which I'm going to finish this. This university in Calabria will move down. There we go. And let's check through to see if there's any of these ready to be moved up. The answer is no. That's okay. So for now, we're mostly going to be focusing on these universities, which seems absolutely fine. Now, the universities are going to be expensive to run. These are, I believe, government employees. Right? Universities are government employees? I'm pretty sure they are. I think we have one in Palestine, right? No, we don't. Okay. I'm pretty sure that they're government employees. So this university in Corsica needs to be moved down. That's not surprising. We just made South Italy very angry. So what are you going to do? They'll get over it. They'll get assimilated. It's fine. It's absolutely a-okay. So there's definitely some shortages going on over here. Why are there shortages? I really wish this tooltip told us what the shortages were. That would be nice. But I don't know what the shortages are up over here. So I guess we'll take no action. We'll just ignore it. We'll pretend it doesn't exist. It'll be fine. So you can see here, now that private construction is building 2 things, we're doing pretty okay. A very minor deficit. I don't mind it. It'll take us a very long time to spend what we've got there. Now this is a fake surplus. We're not making that amount. That's more like it. This university in Basra is going to be finishing very soon. So we're going to be getting these universities done at a pretty breakneck pace here, that's for sure. And once we get dialectics, that's going to be a big deal for us. Keep in mind, we sized our universities here to not necessarily get us to our innovation cap yet. But later, we'll get there. Okay, so taking a look through these constructions, they're all rough down over there for now. That's noted. We may want to consider a tax cut fairly soon-ish, but I don't think we want to do it yet. I think we'll just continue to hold off on that. So once we finish these universities, we may want to start building some resource production, perhaps. We want to keep building things, for sure. And I'm thinking resource production does make a lot of sense. So there is that. We're going to be through this pretty soon. Privatizing coal mines. Okay. I mean, that'll make us a bunch of money. We'll see if they actually do that. Yeah, they're currently working on the banana plantations in Middle Egypt. Fair enough. So we're currently building 3 at a time. This means that we're basically... Overall, we're net negative in our gold reserves. That's fine. We don't want to cap out our gold reserves. Capping our gold reserves is bad. That is wasted money. So spending this is absolutely great. We are delighted to be here. We want to be at 0 gold reserves, but we also want to not be in debt. We want our balance to be at 0, and our gold reserves to be at 0, and our debt to be at 0, ideally. That's not going to happen, but we do want that. Minus 5% bureaucracy population cost modifier for psychiatry. That's actually a pretty big deal. But I'm not noticing a big change in our bureaucracy, unfortunately. That does make me sad. Very sad indeed. But we are about to get dialectics, so that's going to be very useful for us. Then we're going to go for steel frame buildings, and we're going to be able to get the steel frame buildings quite a lot faster. So chemical bleaching is being exposed right now. In military, what's being exposed? Gantry cranes. And in society, what is being exposed here? Postal savings. Okay. I don't really care about any of those, to be honest. They're all kind of mediocre. But for now, we're just chipping through these universities, and everything is looking good on that front. We have broken 30 million in our population, and our pop growth is up over 1% now, so that's actually pretty solid. I'm also noticing our radicals had a sharp drop here. What's going on with that? That's very interesting. Okay, humanitarian expenses. We can't really afford this. Nature is a capricious creature. This infamy will go away. This infamy is not a problem. There are no words to describe this tragedy, indeed. Huh. So this is an event in Eritrea. But Indochina, Indonesia, South China, Japan, Oceania, Zanj, Ethiopia, Southern Africa, and South India are all getting devastation. That's interesting. Where was the volcanic eruption? Oh, that was Krakatoa. Okay, yeah, that explains it. Yeah, that's fine. So for now, we do have these burning ashes over here. So this is the farmers of Deir Azor, and this is in our territory. I'm going to send them some food. This is within our territory. Unlike, I think Eritrea was not within our territory. There is some devastation down over here, I suppose. But that's getting under control. So that seems relatively fine. And this university in Eritrea is at minus 8%. So I guess Eritrea is within our territory, huh? Okay, maybe we should have relieved them. But the devastation is going to go away. So that seems absolutely fine. So our university in Deir Azor is finishing up now, and that's absolutely wonderful. We're currently at 59, and we're still working on bringing that up. But dialectics is going to be here soon. 12 weeks away on that. So that's good. This is absolutely wonderful. We do want to have the philosophy department unlocked. That is going to be a very, very big deal for us. If we look at the tooltip here, can I get to the tooltip, please? Pin that open. There we go. 1.5 innovation. Yeah, that's odd. I think they changed that. I think they reduced the amount of innovation that these give. Interesting. We still want to do it, though. That's for sure. So the Krakatoa eruption is going to time out in 1 year, 9 months. That's understood. And we're spending a lot of money right now. 3.7k in additional expenses. That's not surprising. But things are definitely getting spicy for us economically. We have taken some damage in Eritrea. It is getting better, though. So that looks good. Down over here, we're continuing to colonize. That seems fine as well. Ukraine wants us to not do subventions on furniture. Interesting. I don't think we have subventions on furniture. Okay. I'm pretty sure we don't. Let's check in here. Furniture. Yeah, we've got low tariffs. So that's absolutely fine for right now. Furniture hasn't really been a big focus for us, so I don't know why they're even asking us to do that. That's odd. But sure, whatever. So how are we doing on that innovation growth? Well, that's up to 60.2 uncapped right now. We've definitely got more to do here. So this is an Israeli Constantine. I'm going to move that down. We're looking for locations that have no construction efficiency reduction. And there's dialectics. That's wonderful. But, look at this. There's a railway here that can be moved up, and a railway here that can be moved up, and a university that can be moved up. A couple of universities here. Good. That all looks fantastic. So I want to have these railways be like top priority, and then this would be a priority about here. And then we'll get these finished soon enough. I do want to hop into our production methods and get universities swapped over to philosophy departments. So let's get that going. And we can see plus 39 universities. Okay, yeah. So that all seems relatively fine for now. We've got our university in Palestine going in right now. And of course, we've got these two railways on the way in. I want to check in here. 16. Okay. That's definitely improving, but it's not ideal. Wood and paper are both currently expensive. This is not surprising. With all these universities that we're building, that's really, really not surprising. We may want to consider putting in a couple of logging camps. A lot of these logging camps are not very... They're not very built up. What do we got going on in Venice? 100% market access. Okay. That's awkward. So we're about to go into debt here. Actually, we are in debt at this time. Private construction has not really been doing too much here, but our university costs are almost certainly boiling this up a lot. 4.76, that's not a huge amount, but this is all on paper, right? So we need a lot of paper. We might want to consider building some paper mills. I'm thinking directly in Palestine. Not these in Dongola, thank you very much. I only wanted the ones in Palestine. I wanted to build 3 levels in Palestine. There we go. So these are up at the top of the queue right now. I'm going to move the railway here. I'm going to put the university here. And then I'm going to do a railway here and a university here. And then I'm going to do a university here. And then we can move up this railway. And that's going to go down to be about here-ish. Yeah, something like that. We definitely need to continue to work on this. We got to get some paper mills going here. We need to drop how much we're spending on paper. Wages are up there for sure, but that's not even the biggest deal, right? Arts Academy throughput or university building throughput? We'll do the university throughput. Thank you very much. So 68.3 is our current innovation. 68.7. We're definitely moving up on the innovation, but our GDP is suffering a little bit as we're doing this. I'm not shocked about that. We really do need to get these paper mills online. So we'll get that going. I was hoping private construction would get some of those going, but they are not interested at this time. So that's absolutely noted, and I don't mind going a bit into debt here. That's okay. Gantry cranes have been unlocked. Okay. That gives us a bunch of new production methods, and we probably just want to go through and make sure our production methods are in a reasonable state. So shipyards can move up to steamships. I don't know if we have any demand for steamers. So I think for now, we're going to have to say no on that one. Now then, these should all be in their best state for the moment. Iron mines, we could go down to nitroglycerin. I don't want to do that. We're going to skip straight to dynamite. Opium plantations, we can go to rail transportation. That'll create problems for the moment because we don't have rail yards everywhere. Fishing wharves can go to steam trawlers. That will drive some demand for steamships. Industrial ports will also drive demand for steamships. So we can do that, and then we're going to need to head on up over here because, yeah, we're going to be running a shortage of steamers. That's absolutely understood. And we can go to our shipyards, and we can have at least some of these be on steamships. We may not want to have all of them on steamships yet. Let's go ahead and swap them all to steamships for the moment. Yeah, we still have a need for clippers, but that's only from ports and fishing wharves, both of which are currently swapping over to steamships. So let's see what happens with that. I think as they switch their production methods, it should just kind of seamlessly transition. And we can see that we have a lot of convoys now. We probably don't need to be subsidizing some of these ports. I think we'll leave it for now, though. It's not a huge amount of money that we're putting into that. So that seems okay. We've got a railway finishing up in 2 weeks here in Dalmatia. That's excellent. And I want to check through here at this point. So we do have 2 additional railways here. And what do we have in here that might be at 0? Okay, just this. So let's get these railways moved down. Boy, I wish we could drag and drop this. That'd be awfully nice. And then this railway should get moved down as well. And that should end up being somewhere down about here. Okay. So we'll get working on all of that. That seems good. So we'll get these paper mills built. That's going to be a big boon for us. Just boosting our paper production in our capital. That's going to be huge. Look at how much we're paying for paper right now. 40K on paper. That's a ridiculous amount of money to spend on paper. So let's produce more, and that will definitely be a good thing. So we're going to finish up more universities. That's going to, of course, drive up the price of paper further. But for the time being, we can at least get some production going here. So if we look in at the... What is this? A regional company headquarters. We didn't build this. Interesting. Whose is this? The building owners of any Mavag are always the local workforce. Interesting. I've never seen that before. That must be something new. Well, at this point, what I want to look at here is the paper mill. So we can see, yeah, the price of wood is something we should definitely think about in this area. I think that we should build this in... We're maxed in Syria. We could build it in Transjordan, and we could build in Lebanon. I want to build just in this area. So we're going to do something kind of like that. Now you can see in Lebanon, it's minus 4% construction efficiency. I'm not too concerned about that. I do want to just hammer through these. I think we're going to leave them like this. Maybe not. Maybe we'll move up the railway, the university, the paper mill, and this university, and then we'll hammer through it. Something like this. So this way, we're just not sitting on this progress for quite as long. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue to work on our paper issue. We definitely need to do that. There's going to be more work than this that needs to happen there. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.